יום שישי הגיע, והוא בדיוק בזמן. כמה שחיכיתי כבר בעצם למה שהוא מגיע, ואם פה אז זה סימן שלך עוד שבוע בשכת. יום שישי הגיע, יום שישי הגיע. Friday has arrived, and it comes right on time. I've been waiting for something relaxing, and if it's here then that's a sign that another week has gone. Here comes the quiet. Yom Shishi higia. Friday is here. Yom Shishi higia. Friday is here. Shabbat is now approaching. Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbat Shalom, Carl and Eric and Nick, Carl to join us as tonight is Shabbat Under the Stars, without the stars, above I should say, our stars. And we celebrate being together outdoors and joining you in your homes. Friday night Shabbat, Parshat Ve'et Chanan.
Page 10. Yedi nefesh av harachaman shoch avdach el ritzona yarutz avdach kmo Tachaver muhadara ki yerev lo yediduta minofet tzuv vechotan Adonai Ziv haolam nafshi cholat avata ana ema rufana Welcome everyone. Kabbalat Shabbat officially kicks off with a call to action on page 11, if you're in Lev Shalem, the psalmist asks us to come on, let's go and sing to Adonai. Lechu nira nina, lechu nira nina, lechu nira nina, l'Adonai. Lechu nira nina, lechu nira nina, lechu nira nina, l'Adonai. Naria, letzu yishenu, nikad mafanav b'toda. Naria, letzu yishenu, b'zmirot nurialo. Lechu nira nina, lechu nira nina, lechu nira nina, l'Adonai. Lechu nira nina, lechu nira nina, lechu nira nina, l'Adonai. Ki el gadol, melech gadol, kol Elohim. On page 12 at the marker. Arba'im shana akut bidor. Va'oma amto elevav hem ve'hem lo yadu derachai asher nishbati v'yapi im yevaun el menuchati. Page 13. Shivu l'Adonai, shir chadash. Shivu l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shivu l'Adonai, bachu shemo, basnu miyom liyom yeshuato. Sapru vagoyim kevodo, b'choamim niflotam. Ki gadol Adonai, umehulal me'od, norahu al kol Elohim. Ki kol Elohim hamimelim v'Adonai shamayim asa, hod ve'hadar lefanav, עוז ותפארת במקדשו. הבו לאדוני משפחות עמים, הבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, הבו לאדוני כבוד שמו. שאו ממך ובואו לחצרותיו. השתחוו לאדוני באהבת קודש. Page 14 at the marker. ישמחו השמיים ותגל הארץ, ירם הים ומלואו, יעלוז שדי וכל אשר בו, אז ירננו כל עצי יער, לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק ויאמין באמונתו. Adonai malach tagil haaretz yismechu Rabbi Anna va'arafel Sivivah Zedek u'mishpat Yechol Kiso Esh lefanov Telech Utlahem Saviv Tzarav Heiru Varakav Tevel Ra'ata V'tachel Page 16. Light is sown for the righteous and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God you pronounce the divine holy name. Or zaru al tzadik u'lishrei lev simcha. Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai ve'hodu zecher kodsho. Our Wednesday psalm. Again, singing a song, a new song to Adonai. שיר חדש, כי נפלאות עשה. הושיע לו ימינו וזרוע קודשו. יאי ראי ראי יאי ראי ראי יאי ראי יאי יאי ראי ראי יאי ראי On page 18, you're welcome to read along with me in English. Call out to Adonai, all the earth. Break out in joyful singing. Sing to Adonai to the music of the guitar. Guitar and voices making music together with horns and shofar cries. Trumpet the presence of the sovereign Adonai. Let the sea and all that is in it roar. The earth and all who inhabit it thunder. Let rivers clap hands while mountains sing in harmony, greeting Adonai who comes to judge the earth, judging the world with justice, the nations with truth. Lifnei Adonai kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel b'tzedek v'yamim Mesharim. Our Thursday psalm is found on page 20. Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel too, or among those who called upon the divine name, called to you, Adonai, and you answered them. Moshe ve'Aaron bechohana u'Shmuel bekorei shemo kori el Adonai ve'hu yaneh Bi'amud anan yidaber alehem shamru edotav v'chod natan la'amo Adonai Eloheinu ata anitam El nosei hayta lahem v'nokem al alilotam Vomemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehakodsho Vomemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehakodsho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehakodsho Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehakodsho Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romimu Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We rise for our Friday psalm. Mizmor leDavid Havu l'Adonai b'nei elim Havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz Havu l'Adonai b'vod shemo Ishtachavu l'Adonai b'hadrat kodesh Kol Adonai al hamayim El hakavod hirim Adonai al mayim rabim Kol Adonai ba'kohach Kol Adonai behadar Kol Adonai shover arazim vayeshaber Adonai razeh havanon vayakideh kemo heger Levanon v'Sirion kemo ven remim kemo ven remim Kol Adonai chotze labotesh Kol Adonai yachil midbar Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh Kol Adonai yachol el ayalot Vayechesov yarot Uvehechalo kulo omer כבוד, כולו אומר כבוד. אדוני, למה בו ישב, וישב אדוני, מלך לעולם. אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן, אדוני יבורך את עמו בשלום. You may be seated. Having sung our Friday psalm, we are ready to greet the Shabbos bride, the Shabbos queen, the beauty of Shabbat right here in front of us. Lecha togi lecha kala yababai 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 panei Shabbat nikabla lecha krakala yababai 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 panei Shabbat nikabla shamo v'zacho בדיבורך השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולי תהילה לך דודי לרק כלה יבבי 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 B'nei Shabbat nikabla Lichadodi likrakala Yavabai Yavabai B'nei Shabbat nikabla Likrat Shabbat l'cho v'necha כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה לך דודי לך כלה יבבי 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 פני שבת Kabbalah, lecha dodi likrakala, yababai, 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 b'nei Shabbat, Kabbalah, mikdash melech yimelocha, kumitzi mitoch ההפיכה רב לך שבר בעמק הבכה והויח עמו עלייך חמלה לך דודי לקראת כלה יבבי 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 בני שבת נקבלה Yababai, 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 B'nei Shabbat, Nikabla. Turn to page 25. That's our tradition, to change it up a little bit. And that's what we're going to do. Lecha dodi likrakala b'nei Shabbat nikabla והיו למשוסה שוסוסי יפרחקו קומי ואולי ויסיס אולייך אלוהייך זו שטן אל קלה לך דודי לקראת קהלם פני שבת נקבלם ימין ושמאל תברוצי את אדוני זעריצי על האיש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגלה לך דודי לקראת קהלם בני שבת נקבלה. It's our tradition to rise and face the doorway. No doorway out here under the stars, but we rise out of respect for the entrance of the Shabbos bride. Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha uv'tzahala, toch emunei am segula. Boi chala, boi chala, lecha dodi, לקראת קהלם בני שבת נקבלה יאירה 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 You may be seated. All right, we welcome Shabbos, and there's a psalm for that. Page 27. מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון להגיד בבוקר חסדך באמונתך בלילות עלי עשר ועלי נבר עלי גאון בכינור מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון כי שימחתני אדוני בפעליך במעשה ידיך אבנים מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני מאוד עמקו מצוותיך מזמור שיר ליום השבת טוב להודות לאדוני ולזמר לשמך עליון ולזמר לשמך עליון צדיק אתה יפרח יפרח כמה יפרח צדיק אתה יפרח יפרח צדיק אתה יפרח כארז בלבנון יזכה כארז בלבנון יזכה כארז בלבנון יזכה יזכה כארז בלבנון יזכה כארז בלבנון יזכה כארז בלבנון יזכה יזכה Page 29. עדותיך נאמנו מאוד, לביתך נאווה קודש אדוני לאורך ימים. And that's Kabbalat Shabbat.
As I invite those observing a yurtzeit or in mourning to rise, to join together honoring the memory of loved ones. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bialma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute v'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael bagalau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam omeo maya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudsha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran bialma v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel v'imru
Amen.
Ellie,
So Friday.
point your microphone a little bit up.
Friday night is the opportunity to use the week as the canvas from which to share. So the first thing to share, and I want to thank Esther Dosick for reminding me, is that with the start of the Olympics, 2 of Congregation B'nai Israel's bar and bat mitzvahs will be participating, and in both cases on behalf of Israel. Marlena Miller, daughter of Joanna and Aaron, will be a coxswain for the rowing team, and Zach Weiss, son of Nancy and Ernie Weiss, will be pitching for the Israeli baseball team. I was talking with Zach's parents last night. Those games from Japan will be televised at 3 a.m. So calls on a spirit of true care. Olympics at their best represent an openness to diversity, a respect for other nations in the spirit of competition, in the spirit of every country having its own flag that it marches with at the opening ceremony, and yet, as they stand together when the race is over, congratulating each other for being participants in something that is a collective. That's the spirit of the Olympics at its best. That leads me to share another focus, and that is the spirit of ecumenicism, of people of different religions respecting and getting along with each other at their best as well. And so 3 examples from the last 2 days in my own life and by extension in our opportunities here in Orange County. Yesterday was the second time that I've been privileged to do show and tell in our sanctuary with a Christian Bible study group. One of our congregants, Noreen Lerner, has been part of a group. And what's remarkable about this particular Bible study group is that the participants are not supposed to say what their church affiliation is. But I didn't know that rule when I greeted them, and I was curious. And what I found fascinating is that some were Catholics, some were Lutherans, some were Christian, evangelical, and that in a spirit of learning Bible together, they've come together for years without their denominations being front and center. What I enjoyed in showing all but Noreen the synagogue for the first time was our Torah scroll and opening it up to tomorrow's Torah reading, Parshat Ve'etchanan, the Torah reading in which Moses is on the cusp of moving away as the people move forward, in which he recounts the 10 Commandments and also the Shema. The Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one, is part of tomorrow as well. And so I read for them, I chanted for them the Ten Commandments, or at least the fifth command, which was honor your father and mother for the sake that you will be given a long life on the earth that you shall be given by God. And I pointed out to them, this is the only one of the Ten Commandments that has a reward and that requires interpretation. All of them require interpretation. What does it mean to honor? How do you play that out specifically? What did our commentators have to say? When does a parent lose the right to be called a parent? Or if a parent's not a great parent, how are the responsibilities different or not? Doesn't say. But those are some of the practical questions, let alone how you translate the words. So that, for instance, for Catholics, using the early Greek translation of the Septuagint, the next command, the sixth command, is thou shalt not kill, while for Jews, the translation is thou shalt not murder. There's a big difference between murdering and killing, which is a big difference between Catholic tradition and Jewish tradition in terms of capital punishment. So the main thing that I got satisfaction as a teacher of Torah, sharing with these students of Bible, is that beware to know that every translation is an interpretation, and that every line of a law or of a narrative needs context, and that means much interpretation, and differing interpretations are part of the Jewish tradition. So that was a great source of satisfaction. That we live in a time and in a place where, frankly, it wouldn't have been true in other times and places, that Christians of different backgrounds can study together without that being their calling card, and more, that they're curious to come to a synagogue, to hear, in this case, from a rabbi about how do Jews read the Bible, which we do differently in many cases than the way Christians read those same words that we share a sacred text. Today, within a half hour of this location in Tustin, I visited two amazing monasteries that in my 33 years hadn't gone to see. I went to the monastery of Mutakanandra, the ashram of Mutakanandra, a Hindu retreat center just past Silverado. So that's going into the mountains here east. It's a beautiful 40-acre retreat center for Hindus, built in the 70s, when that particular retreat center was at its peak. There were 10 monks living there, 10 monks in training, and 150, 200 people coming as visitors every Sunday to hear the teachings of Hinduism. Now, in that case, there are 2 monks living there and 2 trainees. Before COVID, they were still getting about 120, 150 people coming for the teachings on Sunday. Mutakanandra, the man for whom that monastery is named, lived in India in the 19th century, and his great teaching is that there is only one divine source, and that all the different paths of religions are diverse ways to experience the one, which is Hinduism. But in his case, he was very interested in comparative religion, and he was interested in science. He was very empirical based. He had a student, Vivekananda, who addressed the first Parliament of World Religions in Chicago, about 1896. And he brought with him his teachings of his teacher and became the major, like the standout of the first Parliament of World Religions. It would mean he would have meetings with the President of the United States, with leaders of faith, and he would introduce Hinduism and Eastern religions to America. And the retreat center was part of the Vivekananda wave that would emerge, where that would be the introduction of Eastern learning that took great popularity in Hollywood at that time. The third place I visited is the Abbey of Michael, which was only christened, or I think that's the right word in this case, a week ago by a representative of the Pope. It was just built in the last few months. It's in Silverado, just before the town. And it's huge, huge retreats. It's not just a retreat center. It's huge in terms of the Catholic Church had 300 plus acres on the state forest. So beautiful setting. And it's where all the priests in Orange County live together now. Over 70. And there's a whole cadre arriving. It was built, modeled on a Hungarian monastery. And the chapel's not a chapel. The chapel is a huge church with stained glass. You walk in it, you could be anywhere in Tuscany, Italy, entering into a major church site. Less than a half hour from here. I didn't know it was there. Well, no one knew it was there. They just opened it up a few months ago because they needed more space from where they were further down the road in the Silverado area. And in both cases, I had a chance to talk to the monks, both the Hindu monks and the Catholic monks, in the course of my day today. And what I delighted in was the ease with which we talked and shared. That is the opportunity that America gives us. But there's one last piece, and that is, in my case, which is as a rabbi, their curiosity and our dialogue was in the context of them wanting to know about Judaism. And I again was reminded that the more one lives their chosen religious faith deeply, that deep religious connection enhances at its best religious connection with others of differing faiths. You then speak across lines of two people who share the Bible, understanding it differently but yet deeply grounded in one's understanding, or understand how one uses the tools of prayer and chant and meditation to encounter God. I so delighted when I was telling one of the leading priests at the Abbey about my psalm project, and he was a really warm man, with this wonderful smile talked about how he begins each day with the reading of Psalms, and quoted me a few lines that particularly ring true in his heart. And so, on this, the Shabbat of Ve'et, we are reminded as a people that we have a history. In that account that we'll read tomorrow, a people that stood at Mount Sinai, in ways we could not have anticipated, that moment that we accept as the story of our people has become a story beyond our people and enables people of different faiths to come together in the presence of God. Ribono Shalom, Master of the universe, may we take joy in our tradition and learn it deeply. And may we use the opportunities when we encounter others of faith to know that there is only one God and that we honor each other as we each seek the presence of God's light. Amen. As we continue with our formal evening prayers of Ma'ariv, as Carl Arbal Tefillah, our Master of Prayer, leads us, we rise 39A.
Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai yai dai dai dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Yai dai 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 dai. Dai dai dai. Baruch Hu et Adonai. Baruch Adonai Borah Le'olam Va'ed. Maybe Cedar. Umavir Yom Umevi Laila Umavdil Ben Yom Uvan Laila Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Elchai V'kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Hamari Varavim. Page 40. Avat Olam Bet Yisrael Amecha Ahavta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachveinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha Mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu v'yorech yameinu uvahem neged yomam V'avatecha al tasir mimenu li'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael. Page 41. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom Alevavecha Vishinantam Levanecha V'dibarta bam Beshivtecha B'veitecha Uvlechtecha V'aderech Uv'shochbecha V'kumecha Ukshartam Leot Al Yadecha V'hayuletotafot B'neinecha Uchtavtam Al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha vehaya yimshot tishmai al mitzvotai nachia. Then I don't have like a flare against you. You will quickly disappear from the good land. Bind us all upon your hands. In your days, the days of your children, I said to give them the days of the heaven above the earth. Lord, I said to Moses, struck them in every generation, put seed. I shall seed, you shall look and remember the mitzvah. I am Adonai, your God. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Turn to page 43b and 44 for an English reading. You proclaimed the covenant on the seventh day. You declared it and decreed it. We listened and heard it. You loved this day we inherited, delighting in its remembrance, and began its command with the word, remember, Zachor. From the time you bestowed it, joy filled the hearts of Jeshurun, the people you redeemed, securing the cause of righteousness. You exalted Shabbat as a sign between us forever. In 6 days your world was formed. On the seventh day you rested, and on this day, Israel, your people rest. To honor your name, they sing songs of praise to the one deserving of praise, willingly accepting God's sovereignty. Then Moses, Miriam, and the people Israel joyfully sang unto you, who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who is like you, adorned in holiness, revered in praise, working wonders? Yaidai, 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 They sang Michamocha. Michamocha, Ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha, Nehedar B'Kodesh, Norah Tehilot, Osei Felech, Norah Tehilot, Osei Felech. Yaidai, 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 ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Page 45. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Malkeinu Lechayim. V'hamidenu Malkeinu. Let's do that again. Are. Eloheinu Lishalom V'hamidenu Hakei Ushmor Tzeitenu Uvoenu Lechalim U'Shalom Viad olam ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Baruch Ata Adonai Hapore Sukat Shalom Aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim v'al kol yoshvei tevel. We rise, page 46. Vishabiru לעשות את השבת לדור התם בריאת עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני אל השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויאמר דברה קירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייך וביומך ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב יאמרו יהי שמי רבו מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיא. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשה לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תמירן ביומה וימרו.
Pages 47 to 52, facing east, our private Amidah.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, וכולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם. ויכול אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. Page 54. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ביום הדבר קירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בגל ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודשא, לעילא מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמא ויאמרו תתקבל צלות הון אבות הון דכל ישראל קדם ובהון דשמיא ויאמרו יהי שלום רבה מן שמיא וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל ויאמרו אמן.
So page 75 are blessings for our children. In some cases, there are some here with children, as you will be able to bless your children by placing hands on them. For others, we kind of send our blessings through the ether, as Carl's going to lead us tonight with blessings of introduction for sons, daughters, and then together the blessings.
For sons, Yismcha Elohim Kefraim v'chi Menashe. For daughters, Yisamech Sarah v'Rivka v'Rachel v'Leah. We say, Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmarecha, Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka, Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha
shalom. And for Kiddush, back on page 55, I'm going to invite forward the Sklar and Bleecker clan, with Debbie leading us, with Wendy and Adam and McKenna joining as an extended family. Page 55, celebrating Shabbat with Kiddush.
Come over around so we can get you on camera. Come over here. Come over here. You got to be on camera.
And you got to use the mic. Let's open it in front of you.
Go ahead, everyone can join. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahavat ratzon hinchilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom tehillah lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kadshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. Yashar guys. Aleinu it is. Aleinu is found on page 56. Aleinu l'shabeach lado hakol לתת גדולה ליוצר ראשית שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה שלא שם חלקנו כהם וגורלנו ככל המונה ואנחנו לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו, שכינתו זו, בגובה מרום. הוא אלוהינו אינו, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, והארץ מתחת עיננו.
Okay,
Okay, לך אדוני אלוהינו ולכל flesh before you, we can do treasure your voice, accept the obligation of some. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמן והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. You may be seated.
Except those observing a yurtside or who are in mourning, we extend condolences to Ingrid Rosenthal and to Jackie Wolf, our congregants, on the passing of their older sister Irene. Her funeral will be on Sunday at Harbor Lawn. We observe the anniversaries of the passing of the following: Perry Bernstein, Rose Oransky, Emmanuel Sokolov, Sarah Cowan, Gloria Teresa Miller, Judy Solomon, William Lippman, Abraham Isaac Zeigelbaum, Lily Seif, Leah Miller, Israel Lewis Glasser, David Scheinman, Victor Waba, Shirley Cohen, Mark Merrill, Ann Stein, Shirley Reichlin, Herman Gallant, Joe Steinberg, and Evelyn Prentice. I invite those honoring the memory of a loved one to join together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah,
Amen.
Bialma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'galau v'zman kari v'imruamei,
Amen.
Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach, le'olam omei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, Shemei dekudsha barichu le'ela, min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran bialma v'imramein, Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imramein, osei shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel v'imramein.
Amen.
Services tomorrow morning, 9:30. We have a special celebration of Shelley Rimler, Dr. Shelley Rimler's change in diagnosis from brain tumor to it's not there. Pretty extraordinary. And tomorrow she'll be coming up to the Torah to mark a celebration with her family. And it will be the first time we at Congregation B'nai Israel in 16 months will be sharing food together after services, which will be outdoors. Everything will be presented, and that's an opportunity to have truly a celebration. That's tomorrow morning at 9:30. Parshat Ve'etchanan, the Goldie Oldies of the Ten Commandments, the Shema, Moses giving people guidance, the people of Israel before they enter the Promised Land. This week there will be services Sunday morning with Cantor Amy, as well as Wednesday evening. I am done with Psalms as of last week. Psalm 150 the week before, summing up last week, so I won't be teaching next week. But
you climbed the mountain, Rabbi.
I climbed the mountain.
We're all very proud of you. It was really an incredible accomplishment.
And if there's one to listen to among many, I would encourage the listening to the Psalm 150, because that was my experience of being on the mountain top. We were joined by Craig Taubman, who tonight we did the Lechadodi, I believe.
That wasn't his.
That wasn't his?
His Hashkivenu we did tonight.
We did Craig Taubman's Hashkivenu tonight. Great songwriter, and he presented a version of Psalm 150 and did some conversation about being a songwriter of sacred text. So if you got to start at the end, 150, and then you can go to the beginning. And with that, again, I want to thank Carl Cedar, our Baal Tefillah, and Eric and Nick for joining and enabling all of us to enjoy music and the celebration of Shabbat, and to Luis Garcia, who does all our engineering. Thank you.
Thank you.
We conclude.
And thanks to you, everybody, just want a personal thanks for letting me push the envelope on prayer, right? I've got many musical influences, and you let me express them all. And I'm sure in your heads you're kind of saying, oh, that kind of sounds like I could rattle off a few, but I'll leave that up to you. Leave those names to you, and I'm happy to discuss those anytime with you, but I have a lot of musical influences, and I appreciate your letting me express them. We conclude with a blessing, a prayer for everyone's Shabbos table. On page 5, Shalom Aleichem. Hope that the good angel comes by and sees your beauty on Shabbos. It should be so next week as well. 2. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech, Malachi Hamalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Nil Shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Elyon, Mim מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. היי היי היי, צאתכם לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון, ממלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom at home. Shabbat shalom here.